everyone. Welcome into the PHLY Phillies soon-to-be postgame show as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 Phillies have the lead. This postgame show is brought to you and presented by our friends over at Bet365. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. And right now, new users can get $200 using code PHLY365 when you sign up. So take advantage of that. Jamie Lynch, Renee Washington, Tyler Zulli here as Jeff Hoffman is mowing through, guys, and there's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. How you guys feeling? What's the pressure check here? We feeling good about this, the 2-game coward sweep?
Well, it's your favorite series, Jamie, with this 2-game series. I did not have any of the chaos of Tuesday night game 1 in my bingo card.
That was wild.
Was going to be wild? Yes. Was I expecting everything else that ensued after? Absolutely no. And it wasn't all bad. It was a lot of good with Kyle Schwarber. There was some positives to definitely take away, but there was some bad. And this has been a really weird series, but I feel like this is also a series we're going to look back on as one of the key series to help this team, depending on however this season finishes, to help this team down the stretch. This is like a momentum building. You go back in the clubhouse after a day like yesterday. Today, so far, you're in a good place, knock on wood. This is more of that like chemistry building, gritty, fun type of chaotic series that it turned out to be. So let's get this sweep. It's been a while since they've had a sweep. It's time for another one.
Tyler, who comes out here, Estevez or other?
So they didn't use Estevez.
Hoffman got used in the 8th.
Yeah, they didn't use Estevez or Hoffman yesterday. There's a reason that Strom ended up in the 9th because I think they wanted to keep those guys 2 days off, right? They had the day off on Monday. They didn't pitch yesterday. Barring the Phillies scoring like 7 runs in the top of the 9th, my guess is it's probably going to be Estevez coming in for the 9th inning. Rob Thompson's not going to mess around with a one. And Kai doesn't like it either, apparently.
Kai is pissed.
Yeah, Rob Thompson's
right.
Rob Thompson's not going to mess around with a 1-run lead when you have an opportunity to get into Toronto, sweep a quick 2-game series and get out, and it at least still be 7-up with 23 to play.
Yeah, really funny quote from Estevez today in Alex Coffey's piece in the Inquirer, and talking about playing here 2 years ago as opposed to playing here as a Philly with the playoffs on the line and how much he loves it. He got a hot dog thrown at him in the bullpen during his trip with the Angels. And there it is. Cousin Jeff Hoffman gets out of the 8th inning. Phillies and Vlad Guerrero doesn't have to bat in the bottom of the 9th, which is always a good thing because he's been one of baseball's best players over these last 2 months. So it's going to be Carlos Estevez getting the closeout opportunity up in Toronto today. What a awesome series if they pull this off. Because last night, like as you said, Renee, last night that's something special in that clubhouse. Kyle Schwarber put a baseball team on his back and said, "Let's go, boys. I got you." It was awesome to watch.
Well, guys, we were just talking about this in our show Tuesday. Oh, I see Millie in the background. We were just
nobody would notice.
Hey, Millie.
You know I'm not going to miss your kitten. Listen, we talked about this in our show Tuesday during the day prior to game 1, and we mentioned Kyle Schwarber since that grand slam has been needing to kind of give us something more. Like we saw him rolling through, game after game and kind of just out there, not really the Kyle Schwarber that you wanted. And with Bryce Harper having the nagging injury, and of course we'll talk about him exiting the game today. Bryce Harper's injury, Trey Turner.
It's kind of a good blessing.
Kyle's been up and down. We were saying one of those 3 had to step up. One of those 3 had to get the offense going. And even, wow, you guys drink at the same time. Even with Nick Castellanos playing so well, you needed somebody from your top 3 to step up. And I felt like Kyle Schwarber's ears must have been ringing because he hurt us. And yesterday to have 3 home runs, you're getting multi-homers, you're literally putting the team on your back. You have a huge, one of your best games of your career last night in a moment where the team needed you. You go down Tyler Phillips, which we'll get into. You go down and you turn around, you go 5 for 6 RBIs, a triple shy of a cycle. This is what you need from your leadoff guy. And then he backed it up today with his 13th leadoff home run of the season. I mean, this is exactly what we asked for. I feel like we got to keep putting some more things out there in the universe for the Phillies to listen to, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, everything we keep talking about wanting to see from the Phillies, it's happening, and they're answering back. And Kyle Schwarber, this is exactly what you need with Bryce Harper dealing with his injuries. You need Kyle Schwarber to step up and be that guy.
You know, there was a sequence of events over the last 2 days that made me realize how difficult fielding line drives and fielding baseballs are when they come off the bat of guys like Kyle Schwarber over the last 2 nights. So today he has
JT.
Yes.
Yabo!
Yes, Kevin and IROC Philly broke it. JT with a home
sorry,
run.
Tyler. A little insurance run just came across the screen.
So
continue on, but yes, Phillies are up 4-2 now if you're watching
along. Last night, his 3 home runs off the bat, 108, 111, 114.
114.
And then you add the double into the mix at 104. And today he has 2 balls put in play at 108 and 104. So he has 6 balls in the last 2 series that have come off his bat at 103.6 miles an hour or greater. Guys, this is where we get into that conversation of, if I'm in the right field bleachers and there is
head on a swivel.
There is not a child or an elderly person near me, I'm getting out of the way. Like, if I have
Brandon
to
Marsh now with a double,
I will. But other than that, I'm not sticking my hand in front of 108, 114 off the bat. I'm going to let the seat take the damage, and then I'll pick it up off the bounce.
All right, so Weston Wilson coming up here. We just got another double from Brandon Marsh there. Still no outs. So if you could get this run home, which you should be able to as a competent MLB club, this would be a really nice cushion to head into the bottom of the 9th with. Brandon Marsh has been playing well. So the situation today was a little strange, as Austin Hayes is dealing with an illness. Nick Castellanos is a little banged up from his hit by pitch last night. Bryce Harper probably should have started sitting, I don't know, a week ago. Leaves today's game. You got Kody Clemens playing third base. He steps up with another big home run. Weird and wacky lineup out there. Kyle Schwarber in left, Castellanos DHing. It was just kind of one of those weird lineups. When I saw it, I went, I should have just ran right to bet 365 and bet it, because your instinct is to usually hate these weird lineups, and then they become like a sure thing, and they always hit.
Well, it's injuries after injury after injury. We had thought Alec Bohm would be back yesterday. That's what the rumors were, that he'd be ready to go Tuesday. And then you turn around and say that, okay, actually might not be ready. We heard that news break prior to the game, that his left hand is still sore, not progressing as quickly as the Phillies had hoped, and out of the lineup for a 5th straight game Tuesday, and Wednesday, of course, is today as well, that he's not going to be ready until possibly Thursday. So he's not ready. You also have, as you mentioned, with Austin Hayes, then you have Bryce Harper, who I actually felt like it was very odd when Rob was saying he's fine. My concern lies with the concern of the trainers in Harp. Like, he's fine, everything's fine. And I'm like, but you see him out there grimacing. He's mentioned it. Bryce has mentioned it himself. We saw the play yesterday. And to go out and just say he's fine, I would have rather been like, listen, we're going to, and even when asked about giving him a few days off, he was like, possibly, but unlikely. Like, I just felt like it was a little bit of this, he'll work through it type of mentality. And I understand it's Bryce Harper, but I also understand you need guys healthy for October. And if Bryce Harper is dealing with elbow and wrist pain, and then today, of course, we saw how he had to exit, gets, the left elbow's bothering him, the wrist is bothering him. You can't continue to say it's fine and not be concerned that your best player is not close to 100%. It's very obvious he's not close. So that's what also makes me.
Sorry, just giving Jay the little little sack fly there to right field by Weston Wilson. So good piece of hitting. Rob Thompson, real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Renee and Tyler. You can take it from here. Rob Thompson talked about it after the game. He was like, Kody Clemens and Weston Wilson are guys that are giving you really good at-bats, and they're putting the ball in play. I think Kody Clemens, Mickey Durkin said it in the chat, he's contributed every time he stepped up. His versatility, I absolutely think, those are your 2 top bats kind of off the bench here a little bit come playoff time. I'd almost rather have them than Sosa, but they've been playing that good.
Well, you talk
situationally,
about,
you get the righty lefty, but it's definitely Clemens lefty. Yeah.
You talk about Kody Clemens specifically. These 2 games today have been really positive viewpoints for a guy who has been up and down quite a bit. Yesterday,
and he's got the opportunity here to get the run home, Jay, in the car. Thank you for listening in the car. So I'm giving Jay a little play-by-play as we
yesterday I thought was extremely impressive with what he did, because he was not expected to play yesterday. Maybe he was expected to pinch hit at some point, but he didn't start yesterday's game. Asked to come off the bench after the injury, and his very
fly out there.
Very first at bat was double-digit pitches, and he battled, and that was kind of conducive of what the entire team was yesterday. I called yesterday the most gutsy win I've seen in a long time, because like
your tweet, Tyler, made the morning email from Rich Hoffman.
How about
you gotta get that? You got to get that framed, man. Put it on Mom's fridge.
But a double-digit pitch at bat his first time through, a really good at bat his second time through. Edmundo Sosa leads off the 9th with a single. Then Clemens follows up with a knock of his own. What he did yesterday was really impressive. And then to follow it up today with a home run of his own to put 2 runs on the board early in the game, it really, I think it really spoke volumes to the kind of preparation and the kind of readiness that a bench player needs to have. We were really lucky when this team was going on its 5-year stretch of dominance in the late 2000s, early 2010s. One of the guys that was always a standout was Greg Dobbs. Greg Dobbs was one of the best pinch hitters this franchise has ever had. Greg Dobbs was awesome. Yeah. And Greg Dobbs knew what his role was. It was a little more defined than what Kody Clemens' role is, but he knew he was going to be called upon at some point to kind of deliver a clutch pinch hit appearance. And there's a reason he had the record for a really long time of pinch hits in a season. There's a mindset to being a bench player that is really, really difficult to not only accept, but to embrace, because for the most part, like, these guys have all been the best player on their team up to X point, right? Some guys are still the best player on their team, but high school, they were all definitively their best players. College or single A, they were all the best players on their team. At some point, you have to be able to embrace, I'm not the best player anymore. I got to be ready when my number's called. Kody Clemens did a really good job of that the last 2 nights.
He did. Yeah, 18 awesome. 18 pitches he saw in his 2 at-bats yesterday. And then today to come out and get the home run, gets a 2-run homer. That is what's been a strength of this team, to your point, Tyler, is that they've been really good at understanding their roles and being able to step up when called upon. Like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Whenever somebody goes down, it's that next player up mentality. And even with injuries right now, Alec Bohm out, that's what we said, don't rush back, Alec Bohm. Let Bryce Harper take off. Because you do have Edmundo Sosa, Weston Wilson, and Kody Clemens who give you good offense, and they're healthy, and knock on wood, and they're able to fill in nicely, and they're versatile. So wherever needed, they can fit in. And with having a nice lead over the Braves, you also have that extra cushion that the Phillies, if needed, to rest someone like Bryce for a couple days, can do so. So I agree. Yesterday was not only a gritty win, and honestly one of those true gutsy wins that shows why this is a top team in baseball. That's a type of win that helps keep them as a top team in baseball. Because the confidence, we always talk about vibes, like the confidence of the vibes after a game like that, it's tremendous to see your team come back in a fight. That's what prepares you for the postseason, and that's what also just prepares you to know that you have guys like Kody Clemens that can step up in big moments too, that they're not going to shy away from those moments, which they weren't anyways, but now it gives them that extra boost. So it's been like a very interesting stretch, but it's been so exciting to see this team getting back to the success of the start of the season. Next man up, depth, and whoever's called upon adds. And I always like what Kody Clemens brings to this team. I'm so glad he got the addition with the roster expansion September 1st, because he's a really good bench piece to have that I feel confident in whenever he's up.
Can I take exactly 20 seconds, since we're talking about next man up mentality? Can I take exactly 20 seconds to give credit to somebody I never thought I'd give credit to yesterday?
Me?
YOLO.
No, not you, Jamie. I give you credit every day. When you have your role diminished the way that Taijuan Walker has, a lot of people tend to want to, slump away a little bit. I think last night he gave up the 2-run home run, and I understand that was a missile. But to have your role diminished the way that he did, and to come out and give you 3, really pretty effective innings when you needed it because your starter only gave you 2 outs. Listen, I'm not expecting that in perpetuity from Taijuan Walker, but he gets a nice tip of the cap from me for last night's performance.
Yeah, sure. It was really just the one pitch to Vlad Guerrero that killed him. Otherwise, he was pretty solid. So Johan Rojas for Jay in the car. He struck out. They weren't able to get the extra insurance run home. So they head into the bottom of the 9th here, 4-2. Charlie Sheen on the bump, and hopefully they can get out of Toronto here with a nice sweep. By the way, this is what's his name again? Alejandro Kirk. He is quite rotund. This is a barrel with legs and arms that hits baseballs. This man, I root for his success when he doesn't play the Phillies because, Tyler, you know my affinity for fat, chubby athletes. So I'm a big fan of his, not in this situation, but in general. What a unit. What a great thing to watch play baseball.
And he is he's
massive.
Basically
he's a barrel.
Massive.
He's basically an elite defensive catcher, like one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. In the 83rd percentile in blocks above average, 93rd in caught stealing, 93rd in framing. The only thing he doesn't do well, his pop time is low. He's over 2 seconds per pop time.
Carlos just took him to his knees.
He's a really good defensive catcher.
There's some beefy boys in baseball, but he's
look at this guy. He's short too. It's great. I love when a big guy can like be just a sick athlete. It's there's something beautiful about it, you know.
K-Red is saying he has to admit his body type is basically this dude. Well, K-Red, you rock that Alejandro Kirk.
Dudes
body.
rock, K-Red. Yeah, but hopefully he gets out of it here. 2-2 count and a nice 1-2-3 easy inning would be pretty cool. That was not a strike, but he got caught on. So Carlos gets the strikeout here.
Okay.
2 outs to go. That was not a strike. I don't even think he went. Thank you, umpire.
The game was moving fast with a lot of 1-2-3 innings, and then it slowed down around the 8th. But that would be nice for us to get in and out of this game and get a nice
strike.
Jamie, what'd you say league averages this year? 2.5?
2 hours 37 minutes on the season as of like 2 weeks ago.
We are at 2 hours and 27 minutes right now, right? 3:07 pitch today.
Yeah, 2 more outs. Yeah, it'll probably be just under the league average.
Basically, right at league average.
Well, the Phillies haven't swept.
Here comes the second out.
The Dodgers back July 9th to 11th. That was the last time they swept somebody. So this would be nice to get a little series sweep against Toronto. That was something that we also saw. All 10 of their sweeps came in the first half of the season. So let's get back to some sweeps.
Even if it is a coward sweep, Jamie?
Well, this is the better of the coward series, the 2 and 4 game. The 4 game is king. The 2 game is like, at least you can tell yourself you would have won the series. If it was a 3-game series and you take the first 2, you're like, all right, well, if it was a 3-game series, I already won it. The 4-game series, if you split 2-2, it's pointless.
Nobody I don't know won. If I agree with you.
That math isn't mathing the way you think it is.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I get
if the Phillies win this game and this was a 3-game series, they would have won the series. So it's the better of the 2 coward series.
The longer a series goes, more than likely. Now, in the regular season, it's a little bit different, but the longer a series goes, more likely it is that the better team would win a series.
Yes, but just don't have.
So you're saying you prefer a
series.
2-game coward series more than a 4-game coward series?
Yes, because the Phillies won the series today.
Okay, that's what I guess makes sense.
So you can assume that the Phillies lost the 3rd game, but they still won the series.
All right, 162 divided by 3 is 54. When Jamie becomes president of the world, there will be 54 3-game series.
Well, you can do it just versus NL East opponents. You can work it out that way.
There's no reason to have 4-game or 2-game series.
All interleague should be 3-game. Somebody's got to win.
Just make them all 3. That part I do agree with. I just think it's weird to randomly. I do prefer a 2-game versus a 4-game. I just think it's weird to play somebody 4 times in a row. Just why? Just end it after 3.
I just missed that because of our coward series talk. Was he hit by a pitch or walk there?
Oh,
he walked him. Okay, he walked him. All right, man on first.
Yeah.
9 run at the plate. Tight butts always, even if you trust the reliever versus the batter in this situation.
Who has the crazy eyes, as K-Red is saying, with the walk, and then a pinch runner, Luis de los Santos.
All right, Carlos, let's get out of here, huh? Ooh, that's a nice pitch right there. It's not a strike, but it's a nice pitch.
It was called one.
So I don't know how
It
you
was
guys
called
feel
one.
about it. And I know that they've dealt with a lot of injuries and they've moved guys because of their lack of performance this year. I don't know if I've ever seen a team that was as hyped as the Blue Jays over the last couple of seasons, where I'm looking at this series and I go, who the heck are some of these guys?
Will Wagner? You don't know Will Wagner, bro?
F these dudes up.
Bowden, you don't know about him?
But
He's
Jim
killing
Bowden?
Bowden's
Ooh, that's
been
an.
great. He's actually
He's
been
just
really
got another
good last
favorable
He's
strike.
killing it on my fantasy team.
But like,
This umpire is really helping the Phillies out here, by the way.
Sometimes you see a guy come up and you go, I don't know who this guy is. And then like last night, there would be like 3 dudes in a row would step up to the plate. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know who this is. Yeah, K-Red brings up Servin. I don't know who Servin is.
I think they're pretty hurt, too, on top of it.
They are.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, and they've moved some guys. They're hurt.
Yeah. Probably a lot of their minor leaguers.
Tyler, not everybody's bench players can be Kody Clemens, Weston Wilson, and Mundo Sosa type. You know, they have some guys that are coming in for injuries that are not names that you recognize and possibly don't even know if they're real people or not. But yeah, that's a problem that we don't really have as much because I feel like a lot of people might know. Probably, I wonder if you had to guess like how many players you can name on a team, Phillies have to be up there for one of the more popular. And I'm not being biased when I say that.
Well, no, you're right. There's a lot of money spent on this roster. It's about like it's the same thing. You could say the same thing about the Dodgers.
Definitely.
You could say the same thing about
Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies.
The Yankees maybe not because they're really top heavy.
Oh, true. And outside
with
of
their
like
talent, you know what I
Judge
mean?
and
Like I'm curious how many people would feel comfortable in naming like the average MLB player naming like an Austin Wells, right?
Right.
Like Aaron
Or
Judge,
like Gaber Torres, or like
Anthony Volpe. But right, you know what I mean? Like, but there are certain teams, and the Phillies are one of them. A, when you're good, and B, when you spend a lot of money, it's bound to be a lot of guys that you know.
All right, so the Phillies make it official with a 4-2 win here up in Toronto. They get out of Canada with a new lease on life. The Phillies are officially back. Kyle Schwarber came out of his funk in a major, major way. Some injury concerns that we'll dive into. A spectacular performance from Christopher Sanchez on the road. This is now officially the PHLY Phillies post-game show presented by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. $200 in bonus bucks when you sign up using code PHLY365. But tremendous win. Now you get the Miami Marlins. Bryce Harper is going to need some rest. Alec Bohm needs some rest. This is a great time to do it. You set yourself up real nice here. I would say the division is a lock pretty much at this point because I think Atlanta would have to go like, I want to say like 20-4 or 5 over the last 25 games or so to have any chance at it, and they haven't done that all year. So I think the NL East is pretty much locked up at this point after a stellar week by the Phils.
Huge win. 2 great wins for the series sweep. Their 11th series sweep of the season. Their 24th series that they've won. Math. And with that, on Beyonce's birthday of September 4th.
The Bayhive. Hey. Wait, November 4th? That's my birthday. That's not Beyonce's birthday. I'm sitting right here. My birthday's November 4th.
I said September.
How could? Oh, September. Oh.
That's embarrassing. Well, on September.
I was like, wait, I share a birthday with Beyonce?
Okay.
Jamie,
on September 4th, the point of what I'm saying is,
does that next birthday get you to like AARP at this point?
Yeah. On the 4th, they put up
some kids yelling
runs.
upstairs.
There are other birthdays soon. Yes, K-Red, mine. And if you were looking for something fun to do for your birthday or maybe to get out to go see a game.
I know somebody with a birthday soon.
Great tickets. Jamie's making fun of me. With the Game Time app. So over at the Game Time app, they have everything you need to simplify the process of buying tickets. Whether you're going to see a concert, B won't be in concert anytime soon. But there are some other concerts you can check out. Comedy shows, games. Maybe it's time to get out to a game, whether it's the Phillies game, you're looking to get to an Eagles game with football season starting off, officially kicking off Thursday night with the Chiefs Ravens. You have the Game Time app to help you make it so much easier. so much easier to get your tickets. We can't guarantee that the game won't be stressful, but we can guarantee buying tickets can be. And it's fantastic because live events are such an experience. You go with your friends, you go with your significant other, you go with your family, you're headed to the theater, you're headed to see a comedy show, you're headed to sing some music or go to a game. And when you go, you want to make sure you have all the support that you need. And with Game Time, they actually have a new feature called Game Time Picks, which makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. As if it wasn't easy already with the Game Time app, now with Game Time Picks, they are filtering out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and get you seats that are great. So you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I hate that part of trying to filter to find the right section, the right seat, the right view. With Game Time app, you've got that covered. They want to make sure to get you super deals when you browse through the app. They get you some great prices, and they give you the opportunity to see your seats so you know where you're going to be located to watch that game, that show, that's whatever it is you're going to. So with the Game Time app, they have tons of great features for you. The app provides you can customize your spots, get a nice view of your seats. You can take advantage of their features like the Game Time Picks to make it easier to find great prices and great seats. And then on top of that, in addition to the lowest price guaranteed, they have event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and other perks. All in pricing for you with low price. And now you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app by downloading the Game Time app, creating an account, and using code PHLY to get you $20 off of your first purchase. Terms to apply. But again, create that account, use code PHLY, get $20 off, and download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time.
And let me tell you, of course, about our friends over at, you know the name, you know the jingle, Empire Today. Because if you go to empiretoday.com/PHLY, you can get $350 off new floors. And Empire is the best. You know the name, you know the jingle. It's because they've been around forever, because they're the best in the game. And today, they pride themselves on the shop at home convenience, because who likes going to a big box store to shop around, not really get the help you're looking for? With Empire, they come to your home. They have a virtual floor designer, and they can not overwhelm you, actually have a conversation with you, see what you want to do with your house, and help you get there with the best product, not an overwhelming amount of products. And with that virtual designer, you can see how it looks right there under your roof within your walls. It's easy. It's brilliant. Why would you go to the big box store anyway? They service their own warranty, so if something does arise, just call Empire. They service it all themselves. You're not going to have to track somebody down. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHLY. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHLY for details. So welcome into the PHLY Phillies postgame show. If you're just joining us, the Phillies get the 2-game sweep up in Toronto, have set themselves up here really nice. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber loves Canada. That is the takeaway. Kody Clemens just got the player of the game, wet bandit treatment from Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh. Very cool to see his joy, and the team clearly loves him. So it was really cool, as we talked about. But Kyle Schwarber basically was the story of this series. The other story, unfortunately, is the health factor. But Kyle Schwarber, my goodness, what a 2-game stretch that man had. Some of the numbers that were getting put out by Sarah Langs and Jason Stark and Paul Casella, and some of these like deep dive stats on what Kyle Schwarber just did over his last like 7 or 8 at-bats is truly remarkably weird stuff in the best possible way.
It's incredible to see. Yesterday he became the first Phillies player to have 2 3-homer games in a season. As we know, that 3-run homer, just one of 3 home runs on the day for him.
I can't believe Mike Schmidt never did that. I'm
yeah,
shocked.
exactly. So for Schwarber, who hadn't had a home run since that grand slam against the Marlins, the day that I was there, that Wednesday, August 14th, to then turn around and have a huge offensive, it was almost like he was offensively constipated. And he just needed to like break through once, and he was good.
He needed a laxative, yeah.
Right, and he just broke through one. Maybe it was some poutine up in Toronto. Like, I don't know what the change was.
I was thinking about that earlier. Canadian bacon, poutine.
Yeah, he might have needed some maple syrup, some Canadian bacon, some poutine. I don't know what Canadian delicacy he enjoyed, but it clearly helped because he broke through. When you look at his production yesterday, 5 for 6. Poutine?
Yeah, it's really good.
No.
Oh,
5
God,
for
yeah.
6. 5 for 6. The 6
Don't
RBI.
you dare.
Almost had a cycle, and also for him to make some history in that, as you talk about the names that he cemented himself with, it's a lot of first. I mean, this is what we've loved about the Phillies. They've been doing a tremendous job of making history, and it being these moments that you didn't even realize was history. You look back on, you're like, seriously? So for Kyle Schwarber, he had in that game, he joined Mike Schmidt as the second player in franchise history with 5 hits and 3 homers in the same game. Schmidt also did so in a four home run game back in 76 against Chicago on April 17th of 1976. Schwarber has also joined the list of players, the first since at least 1900 with 2 3 home run games in a single season. It's what you need from this team. They've had injuries lately, and you needed one of your big 3 to step up. And Kyle Schwarber answered the call. He's been saying all the right things about how they're not focused on the results. They know they're going to battle through. Even yesterday, when Tyler Phillips struggled, you give up 6 runs, you're down. They worked back through it. And he was like, we never thought we were out of it. I thought they were out of it, but they never thought they were out of it, fortunately. And then to turn it around and get another leadoff home run today, that's leadership. Like, you don't just do it one game. You turn around, you get the team on the scoreboard. As JT mentioned, as Rob has said, with Kyle's up for leadoff, it's 1-0 in their mindset. He's going to get them that first run. Back-to-back games, leadoff home runs, 13 now leadoff home runs on the season. And that's how you set the tone on the road to get your 4th straight win in a row. It's remarkable. That's leadership. That's exactly how we wanted to see somebody emerge for this group out of the top 3.
It would have been so easy yesterday to go down 6-1 after the first, knowing your starter didn't even get out of the first. Would have been really, really easy to say, wrap this one up. We'll get them tomorrow, boys. We'll leave Toronto with a split. And, you go from there, right? We'll recalibrate and regroup in Miami. We get a big series with, going down to Miami, 4 games. We'll regroup and recalibrate from there. They didn't give up. They scratched out a couple of runs. In the 4th, I believe, in the 5th, the Blue Jays score in the 6th. I might have my timeline wrong, but my point is, like, they scratched and clawed and never surrendered in this game. And when you have a guy who, puts you on the board early, comes up in later in the game, puts you on the board again, serves up a double, picks up a single, clearly is swinging a hot bat over the last 2 nights. You kind of rally behind that. And they did. It was a good night for a lot of guys. Brandon Marsh had a really good series. We ragged on Brandon Marsh a lot this year, and rightfully so. His strikeout rate's high. He was chasing a lot. He didn't look right for like 2 straight months. He had a really, really good series. 2 really big walks early in the game yesterday. A couple of base hits later. Base hit today. Swung the bat really well. But you almost use that as if we stay in this, and I believe the word that Ruben Amaro used on the broadcast last night was peck, right? You peck away at this thing, and you get a run here and 2 here. It's one of those things where you're counting down, okay, if we're at 6-3 by the 5th, we're alive. If we're at 6-4 by the 7th, we're alive. And then, they get the 7th and 8th run off the home runs, and you get them right back. There was almost like, never say die attitude to this thing, like a Goonies never say die type of attitude to the game last night. And it parlayed into what I think is a victory today and what could be a mentality shift heading into the rest of the season and into the postseason. This team knows they're good. They just needed to be reminded that they were good.
Yeah. And the other big story that's going to come out of this is Bryce Harper's health. Because as you said, they know they're good. They know they're a playoff team. The NL East is pretty much won, in my opinion, after what transpired this past week. But Bryce Harper, you're not winning a World Series with Bryce Harper playing the way he has the last month. He's starting to hit some balls hard, but he still has a homerless streak that is unprecedented for him. It's got to be what? It was 81 or 82 at-bats in a row the other day. It's probably up to 86 or 87 at least. He needs to take some time. And somebody look, I appreciate the grind. He's a true sports psycho that wants to play every day, and part of me really admires that. It's at the point now where like Dave Dombrowski or Rob Thompson has to sit him down and say, Bryce, we got the Miami Marlins for 4. Kody Clemens is swinging a hot bat. The team is in okay shape. Alec Boehm's going to be coming back whenever. Maybe he'll take the series off and they retroactive him to the IL, whatever it is. But Bryce, we got to get you right for the playoffs. And the time is kind of now. The schedule is dictating that. The timeline on the remainder of the season is dictating that. He was in pain. My man was feeling pain in both his elbows, and he's hit by a pitch today. His right elbow was bothering him. Then his left elbow was bothering him. His wrist is bothering him. He's always going to have a wonky back. The dude's beat up. He's got to sit, and this Miami series is the perfect time to sit him.
He had 2 home runs in all of August, and the last home run for Bryce Harper came August 9th against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The last RBI for Bryce came against the Astros. That was game 1 against the Astros that he last had an RBI. I'm sorry. Yes, game 1 against the Astros. It's been a struggle for him, and this offense is trying to get right. As we're talking through, this series alone, this grind of a series, you feel like is that step in the right direction. I know in the chat it was said earlier of like, are the Phillies back? Because now they've won. You look against Kansas City, you take 2 from Kansas City,
yeah, they're back.
2 or 3 from Houston, 3 or 4 from Atlanta. You take 2 this series again, you sweep the Blue Jays. It feels like they're back, but unfortunately, it's almost now a double-edged sword because yes, you have Bryce Harper out there, but if he's out there and he's not healthy, is it really helping the squad where the offense has been the biggest question mark right now? Starting pitching and the numbers, they're now 32 straight games that they've won. When a starting pitcher goes 7+, check. The bullpen's rounding out, check. It's offense that's been the biggest question mark. And of course, injuries, which are attributing to the offensive issues, don't get me wrong. So if you can get guys healthy, that is more important than Bryce Harper playing right now. We don't need to win this right now. Of course, you'd like to go sweep Toronto. You'd like to sweep everybody. You'd like to go beat Miami, but you can also have faith in your guys that they can do it without Bryce, because right now you're already doing it without Bryce. He's just out there playing. He's not helping. It's not like there are some times a player's injured and they're still producing, giving you something. Bryce isn't giving you anything offensively right now. So you look at this series alone, he's not giving you hits. He's had 4 hits. He had 4 hits coming into today. And in August, for the last stretch, it's a lot of zeros. He's not giving you anything offensively, and we're starting to see even some first base mistakes. He's just in pain. So why keep him out there wincing, grimacing, gets hit by a pitch? Don't let him get hit by another pitch and it be worse. You're now making it worse, if anything. So I know Rob was saying sitting out won't help him, but also playing won't either. Playing won't either. If it's like a soreness that he could take a couple days, that might be enough to manage it.
I don't get that. How could it not help him? The dude almost dropped to a knee last night. He's wincing in pain. Like, how does time not help?
There are some injuries that you need surgery. You need a full, X amount of weeks or months to fully heal. And I understand that. But if you can still, piece in some days off here and there to manage the flare-ups of it and the excessive pain, like to keep that under control, you might not fully be pain-free, but why let him keep aggravating it and making it worse? And I understand
Kevin, he is a gamer, Kevin. He wants to play. This is Bryce's decision. Like, I'm saying now somebody has to sit down and do what's best for Bryce and say, like, dude, you need to take a week off. We need you for the playoffs. That's the only thing that matters here. All right, moving on from Bryce talk. Tyler, Christopher Sanchez was sensational today.
Yeah, he was.
And it's really good to see on the road.
Yeah, his first inning was not sharp. And obviously the runs come in the first inning. The second inning, he battled a little bit too. And they were talking about it on the broadcast about, the changeup almost acting like a slider, which is problematic for a multitude of reasons, because we know his changeup is his best pitch. And when his changeup is not working the way that he wants it to, he really has to grind to locate his sinker and use his breaking ball in a way that will help him until the changeup recovers. It's also problematic in the sense that changeups and sliders don't go in the same direction. So if your changeup is going the wrong way, that means you're doing something weird where you're either turning over on it or you're snapping a wrist when you shouldn't be, like the way you should, whatever his mechanical, and I don't know what type of changeup that he throws, but so let's assume that he throws a circle change. I don't think it is, but like just for visual effect, when you go to throw your circle change, you kind of have that okay, right? And you're gripping it up back in the heel of your hands, and you really want to bury it so that you can get that fastball arm action, but you're getting the tumble and a lot of guys too will almost like pronate the wrist to go. So like for a lefty,
Pronate.
you would almost go this way.
Busting out SAT words here.
Right. You're not going to turn it over like a screwball because you're going to end up getting hurt. But like there's a natural almost like arm side bend that you want with your changeup. To get it to move left to right in Christopher Sanchez's sake, it would be almost snapping it the other way. And whether that's because they were talking about the cutter and how it was affecting his changeup, and JT kind of said, no more cutter, whatever the case may be, if you're turning over your changeup the wrong way, it becomes a really ineffective pitch because you're not efficient with it and you probably don't know where it's going. That stopped seemingly after about the third inning. And it's when he started racking up strikeouts. He started to pull over on the changeup more. He located his fastball and set the changeup off the fastball, and in time set the fastball off the changeup. And when you're throwing that changeup, A, for strikes, and then B, being able to bury it, especially to opposite side hitters on the outer half and low, that's when his changeup's at its best. It was a really weird, like, growing pain sequence for Christopher Sanchez in the first couple of innings, but to see him battle out the way that he did and be able to establish the changeup to help him get the ground ball back, we know he's an extreme ground ball pitcher, to get the location with the fastball better. Therefore, more strikeouts occurred. It was a really good like growth within a game from Christopher Sanchez in that one.
And it was needed. Sanchez has struggled so much on the road. That, to me, was the most important part, that he was able to get through it. Because you look at his numbers, a 2.24 ERA at home versus coming in with a 5.43 ERA on the road. And on the road, he's pitched significantly less innings, almost 40 innings less on the road that he's pitched, and given up 36 runs on the road compared to the 23 runs at home coming into today. So for him to have such a huge drop-off when he's away, today, in my opinion, was about him getting through, feeling good off the mound. And for him to be able to go 7 innings, to give up the 6 hits, and as you mentioned, it got better as it went on. You saw him be able to settle in. Gave up the 2 runs, gave up 0 walks, 7 Ks with 96 pitches, 72 strikes. I was just trying to watch, more importantly, how does Christopher Sanchez get out of this away game? And you're going to need him to be able to pitch away just as well as he pitches at home come playoff time. So to me, today felt like it's his 27th start. It's September now, time to start to figure out how to work through the road struggles. And I thought today was that small step in the right direction for him. You gave up 3 straight doubles and they score off 2 runs off of that. And then you settle in from there on and you're fine. That's exactly what you need to see from what Christopher Sanchez has been doing. And another game, again, as I mentioned before, the Phillies starters go 7+ innings, win the game for now 32 in a row. So to me, today was a huge step, not only for the team. I know it was said in the chat by Philly 007. That's a great win. Yeah, it's a great win, but it's also a great performance for Christopher Sanchez, who's been pretty bad on the road in contrast to how he's been at home.
Yeah, 32-1 on the season when the starter goes 7+ innings is ridiculous. It's very, very impressive and really kind of could be the storyline of this season. What are you guys doing Saturday? I think the weather's supposed to be great. Anybody want to hang out, play some pickleball, drink some beers, eat some delicious food, and do it all for a good cause? Well, you can if you join us at the True Mark Pickleball Tournament this Saturday. It's out in Ambler, Pennsylvania, and it's to benefit the True Mark Financial Care Foundation. They're hosting a charity pickleball event to raise money for financial education in our local communities. This I personally believe in so much as somebody that kind of ruined their credit as a youth and I mean, I got a little crazy, and I shouldn't have done that because I was financially an idiot. So financial education and literacy is something I really, really believe in teaching kids. And the event is a great cause. It's this Saturday at the Upper Dublin Sports Center in Ambler, Pennsylvania, from 1:30 to 5 o'clock. It's a round robin, just kind of fun, non-competitive event. There's going to be certified pickleball pros to help you out and make sure you know what you're doing. No experience is needed. I have personally never played, but I'm looking forward to getting out there because it always looks like fun. They're going to have paddles and balls available for free. The cost to play is $50, but that's to benefit the charity. And all players are going to get a swag bag from TrueMark and from us at PHLY. And if you want to get your company involved, it's not too late. You can get your logo on display at the event. They're selling a variety of sponsorships, anywhere from $200 to $1,000. So it all is great. And the best part is, as a PHLY fan and diehard here, you get a 10% discount on registration. Just register at truemark.com/PHLY pickleball. And I really hope I see some of you out there on Saturday on the pickleball courts. We'll see how I do.
Yeah, I hope you have fun playing some pickleball because I'll be having fun Saturday celebrating my birthday.
Yes,
Linda,
happy
it is
early
supposed to be a
birthday,
little bit
Renee.
rainy. I know, I've said it like 20,000 times. If you guys forget, I'm gonna be very upset. But
well, I might forget Saturday, but this is my early happy birthday, Renee. All right, get your Z-Biotics in.
At this point, do we have to intentionally forget just so you can yell at us? I feel
if
like you
don't know me by now, between our fantasy team and my birthday, catch on. There's a theme here that I'm going to say it over and over again.
I feel like you just want to yell at us at this point. Like, you don't need an excuse. You could just yell.
I just feel like as friends, like we should always know each other's birthday. Like November 4th, December 27th. Like, I pay attention. We got to know each other's birthdays.
Yeah. Would you like to know my social security number too and the times of day that I'm not home?
No, but if you're celebrating your birthday or you're doing something fun this weekend, you want to make sure you're prepared. And with Z-Biotics pre-alcohol, you can do exactly that. Because when you're getting ready for a nice day out, you want to make sure that you can enjoy that without, having any sort of weird, uncomfortable, sick feelings the next day. It's hard to bounce back the next day. We're not as young as we used to be, guys. At least I'm not. Some of us are getting older. You guys are aging in reverse, though. But for those of us that are aging the right way and getting older, you don't bounce back the same way that you used to after having a fun night out. And with Z-Biotics, they have pre-alcohol as the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by a PhD scientist to be able to tackle the rough mornings after drinking. So here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into like a toxic byproduct that just sits in your gut, makes you feel a little bit sick. And it's that feeling, not dehydration, that does make you have a rough day the next day. So with the pre-alcohol, they produce enzymes to break that product down. And with that Z-Biotic, you now can enjoy drinking and enjoy the next day. So you want to make sure you're drinking responsibly first and foremost, and making sure you're feeling your best the next day. So whether it's a vacation, wedding, birthday, pickleball tournament, reunions, whatever that's going on, because there's a lot going on right now, especially as we're getting into the fall, get the most out of your plans by stocking up on pre-alcohol now. You can go to zbiotics.com/PHLY Phillies to get 15% off your first order when you use that code PHLY Phillies at checkout. Pre-alcohol is backed with 100% money back guarantee, which means if you're ever unsatisfied for any reason, don't worry, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. And remember, head to zbiotics.com/PHLY Phillies. Use that code PHLY Phillies at checkout for 15% off. And thank you to Z-Biotics for sponsoring this episode and our good times, including this weekend.
All right, so Mickey Durkin said in the chat, it smells like a good birthday month. What I have here is something my sister sent me, oddly enough, earlier today. It is the top 10 most common U.S. birthdays, and all but one of them are in the month of September. The first most popular birthday, September 9th. Second is September 19th. Third is September 12th. Fourth is September 17th. The fifth most popular birthday is September 10th. Then July 7th sneaks in the 6 hole, 7 hole, September 20th. The 8 spot, September 15th. September 16th grabs the 9th most popular birthday, and September 18th with the 10th most popular birthday in the United States. And And you know what that tells me, folks?
People getting weird at the holidays.
People getting horny at the holidays.
That's literally the math is mathing. That's Christmas time. That's New Year's time.
That's horny holidays, baby.
No, I always feel like I meet a lot of people that are born in July. Like I would have that as like the top birthday month, not September. But it's a great time to be born.
New Year's and Christmas.
Yeah. Everybody else in the world. So
yeah, there's college reunions this month. The NFL is back, so definitely dive into that because that is a good product. I've already tested it out. They just were showing the replay of Bryce Harper getting hit. That looks like it hurt a lot. They just showed it like 6 times on the postgame show, and ouch, that hurts. But yeah, go ahead. Rob's talking right now.
Is Rob in the void? Where did
that is a weird room. It's very white.
Looks like he's in like Poltergeist or something, like carrying the TV or something.
Does he need to like find help?
Can I ask why opposing managers' offices don't spice it up a little bit? Like, I know it's it's a rotating manager always coming through, but they can't put like some stadium artwork or like some generic baseball.
Yeah,
like they're always so stale. Like, put a little effort into it.
And I understand they intentionally don't want it to be comfortable for the road team. Totally get that.
Yeah, but come on.
But like this looks awful. It looks like he's been kidnapped and is locked in the basement.
You could put up Cooperstown like MLB Hall of Famers like painting.
Yeah,
like,
and I think it's trying to be in Toronto stuff in this situation. Like let it be.
Like what if there's art on the wall, Rob Thompson all of a sudden is going to go manage better? Like what the hell?
So
that's such a stupid old school thing.
On the reverse, what does this white wall do? Like how is this?
Rob just swept him in a bare office. It affects nothing. That's a fake thing.
It's actually funny you bring this up. We were talking about this on the Penn State show yesterday because of the weather delay in West Virginia and how cramped it was in the visiting locker room. So I asked the guys, I'm like, is that a tactic? They're like, absolutely, it's a tactic. Renee, I'm sure you could probably talk about it as well. Like, you go on the road, you're meant to be uncomfortable.
They would even.
What does a little piece of art on the wall have to do with comfort? That's not real.
They want you to feel like you're in an insane asylum.
In prison?
The artwork is different, but they would actually put us in like tents. Like we wouldn't even be in a locker room sometimes. The home team would have a whole locker room. We'd be sitting outside in a tent, shivering when it's raining or cold. The locker room side of it for a visitor is difficult because you don't care about the white wall, but you do care about, are you in some gross, muggy, hot, cold, whatever the conditions may be, locker room. They make them as ugly and as uncomfortable as possible. Hot
water thing,
like exactly. You don't have the right temperature. You don't have the right water conditions. It's bad. So it's just annoying.
There's the old Celtics stories about where the Lakers and giving cold water to the Celtics. It's just like, come on, put a piece of art on the wall. We're not asking for much here. So the Nerd Research Department, aka Tyler Zulli, I just saw in our private chat, shared it. We said the NL East is pretty much locked up. I believe it is. So congrats. I'm looking for the new pennant to hang in my garage. That'll be cool. If the Phillies go 13-10 the rest of the way, the Braves would have to go 21-3 to take the division. So pretty much it's over.
Yeah, I think they want the division. They're not going to let you're not going to want, say it's not an important.
Well, now you want Citizens Bank Park. Because it's all within grasp.
You want the bye at this point. You have bigger aspirations. Like this at this point, this is about becoming a top 2 seed. I think we can all probably.
And thank you, St. Louis, last night. Thank you, St. Louis.
Yeah, it was huge. You gain another half a game on them today. I'm assuming they play again tonight. But you're looking to leap either the Dodgers or the Brewers, or stay ahead of the Brewers in this sense, or leap the Dodgers.
Only a half game back on the Dodgers.
So you can end up with that bye and then at least home field advantage in the NLDS. And then, you figure it out in the NLCS if you have to go to LA or you have to go to Milwaukee. It is what it is. But the bigger aspirations at this point, 7.5 up with 23 to play. We've seen it happen, right? 17 with 17, 7 with 17 to play. The Phillies did it. But I don't think this team is going to collapse in that sense. So you're looking for bigger goals. Now next step, you haven't won the division yet. That's next step naturally, but next step after that is to get the bye.
Well, the thing is, as the Phillies are now 7.5 games ahead, they've now won 9 of their last 11. That's 4 in a row. The Braves' schedule moving forward, as you look, they're right now playing the Rockies this series. They actually start that game today at 7:20, so in a little over an hour. But they're now going to be moving into playing. They play the Blue Jays. They play the Reds. They have a series against the Dodgers, the Mets, the Nationals. They also play the Marlins. So when you now look at, and they finish with the Royals to close out the regular season, it's professional baseball. You can't ever pencil in an easy series. It's never that. But now this does give you that cushion, as you mentioned, Tyler, that if the Phillies can just stay around 500 for the remainder of the season, they really do set themselves up nicely to be able to win the NL East and then definitely to hopefully get that first round bye. Like that's the next goal. You have
they're better than the Brewers.
Injuries. Yeah, exactly. They have to play the Brewers too for the Phillies coming up. So that's one of those series that's going to be great to be able to, keep that lead and be top of the NL with the Dodgers, because it looks like those two should be the top two. But with all these injuries, Alec Boehm, Austin Hayes, Bryce Harper, you now honestly want that even more, to be at home and to give some extra rest. I know we rest over rust, the whole debates, whatever. At the end of the day, it's the playoffs. And this team has been looking forward to finding ways to get that first round bye and getting back to winning the NL East, which has been a long time coming. So this makes you feel a little bit more comfortable of sitting Bryce and letting him rest, because they should be fine to close out the final 23 games of the regular season without him. Not the entire 23, but you don't need him all 23 games. Let him rest a couple.
I'm curious for you guys then, because I was thinking about this the other day. If you had to put a couple of dollars down on Bet365 for one of these two teams to make the playoffs, are you putting money on the Braves or on the Mets?
It's a good question.
I kind of like.
I would have to really crunch the schedules to give an educated answer.
Yeah,
the Mets have one more with the Red Sox tonight. They've got 3 with the Reds, 3 with the Blue Jays, 3 with the Phillies, 3 with the Nationals. Actually, 6 more with the Phillies, 3 with the Braves, and then they close out with the Brewers.
That's a tough schedule for them.
It gets tough late. It's easy over the next 10, 14 days, and then it gets tough.
I don't know. They're kind of similar schedules because they both had to play.
I'm rooting for the Mets. Am I? Ew.
I don't know.
I think I hate the Braves more than the Mets. I think I do.
Can it be neither?
No, I hate the Braves more than the Mets. I feel confident saying that. That's okay. I think it's okay to say under the context of our conversation.
Okay, that's fair.
The Braves are truly terrible. The Mets are just annoying because they're unserious. Is that fair?
Definitely. I mean, you have the Padres and the Diamondbacks who have 78, 79 wins for the NL West.
Chris Miller says he hates the Mets way more. What have they ever done to you, Chris?
A lot of Phillies fans, we just, hate the Mets.
It's an 07 thing.
We still hate the Mets.
The Braves ruined my childhood. The 90s were terrible.
So for me, growing up, the team that I hated more than anybody was the Mets. It's probably shifted over the last
Howard Johnson. That's who I grew up with.
So that's what I'm saying is you and I grew up with different Braves.
Yeah, it's true. You were David. You were Jose Reyes and David Wright. And
it was
Johan.
They were good teams. Pedro was nasty for a couple years with them. They were good Mets teams for a while. Now the collapse made it sweeter. And J-Roll saying team to beat, and all that kind of stuff. But for me, the Mets were the team that I hated the most. I think it's flipped in recent years. It's probably the Braves now. But there's also a level of respect with the Braves organization.
Yeah, they're a good organization. That's what
over the last 5 years.
Question is,
Alex Anthopoulos is a war criminal. We've talked about this.
Oh, no. Question is, can the Cubs, who have 71 wins currently, catch them? People are saying, can the Braves not make the playoffs at all? I think with 75 wins for the Braves and the Mets, you would think that one of them should get a wild card spot. But I'd love for the fact that with how well the Padres and Diamondbacks are playing, they're locked in. If the Cubs could sneak in there and catch one of them, that would be fine too. I'd be perfectly fine with seeing neither of them in the playoffs. But yeah, it's definitely interesting because I don't want either of them to do well.
The Cubs have a little bit of a daunting schedule to end the year. They've got 3 with the Yankees coming up, 3 with the Dodgers. Then they get 3 with the
Yankees are in the trailing the Orioles now, so that's a really tough series.
And then 3 games with apparently the hottest team in the American League, the Oakland Athletics, who have been unbelievable since July. Then they get 3 with the Nationals, but then 3 with the Phillies and 3 with the Reds to wrap up the season. That's a pretty daunting, like 4 series in there. I just think there's a lot of ground for them to make up. They would need a lot of help.
Well, also Yankees, Dodgers, back to back is going to be tough. Plus, you're playing then the A's and Philly. Yeah, that's a really tough schedule. So,
all right, we are winding down, but Kyle Schwarber, I just saw something else is going to make some history. He tied Alfonso Soriano today for the most leadoff home runs in a singular MLB season. Sure could get that record. It wouldn't be very difficult in 24 games for Kyle Schwarber to hit another leadoff home run. What's his average? The Nerd Research Department, do you have his home runs per game rate handy by any chance?
This season?
Because I would imagine, I would imagine Kyle Schwarber hits a home run every 13 to 14 games.
Oh, Kyle's had 32
or at bats. I'm sorry, not games.
He's had 32 home runs, 89 RBIs this season.
The home run to at bat ratio.
How many at bats is that? Has he had?
So he's going to have 24 24 remaining.
He hits a home run about every 15 at bats.
15. Okay, I guess 14.
Okay.
So he has 24 opportunities now to get the MLB leadoff home run record. By judging by his at bats there, slightly less. He's got a pretty good shot at it, so that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool, and I like the fact that we get to see history. I mean, that's 2003 that Alfonso had 13 leadoff homers.
Yeah, he was nuts that year.
Time to reset that stat, Kyle. Get one more, take sole possession of that number 1 spot, but also most importantly, keep hitting leadoff home runs. Makes the team feel great starting off the game with the offense getting on the scoreboard, early and. Depending off their home or away first. So, yeah, I think that's his record for the taking. I'm confident that he can get one more in the next 23 games.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then the upcoming series. So we're going to be back tomorrow night with a post-game show. A very unserious Marlins team. Adam Euler and Edward Cabrera and Darren McCaughan face off against Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola. Good luck. I mean, the Phillies are primed to just kind of end this.
If the Phillies can stop leaving guys stranded and do better with runners in scoring position, I'll feel a little bit more. Yeah, I feel a little bit more optimistic about it because it doesn't matter who they're going up against. Again, they keep leaving guys stranded. But the offense is coming back, guys. It's happening, and this series is going to be a great series to really get the bats going. JT had a big day. Brandon Marsh had a few hits in his at-bats. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber. So get this offense clicking, pounce on the stinking Miami Marlins, please, and make this a nice, smooth, series that they can go out and win.
With those pitching matchups, seriously, have a conversation with Bryce Harper about sitting down. We don't need you these next 3 games. We can talk again on Sunday. Alec Boehm, same thing. Just sit out the series, both of you. The Marlins are unserious. Kody Clemens and Edmundo Sosa can play for 3 days, and the team will be fine. Please take some time off, guys. Please.
Yeah. They're back at home on Monday versus Tampa Bay. So if you look at this series, as you mentioned, sit out the series, miss all 4, let the other guys carry the load. And also that I would spin it. This is a chance for them. This is an opportunity for the other guys. Get some more at bats. Get to start some more. You might need these guys down the stretch. So I would even if I'm Rob, I'm spinning it. Right now, we need you to sit and be healthy and then give your teammates a chance to show what they can do starting in this series and what they can do offensively without you. Because we need healthy Bryce, and this is not it right now to continue to have him out there laboring, hoping he doesn't get hit, hoping he doesn't make it worse and re-aggravate it.
All right, so what's for dinner, gang? What are we having?
Taco bowl.
Nice. Renee?
I have some leftovers, some kielbasa and rice and some vegetables. I did some asparagus. How about you?
All right. I don't know.
Oh.
Addie's been upstairs with the girls, and I have no idea what they're up to. Could be anything. I hope it's something cool.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. Tyler, you were going to say any final thoughts here?
Just talking about with Harper really quickly. The only thing is, if he is going to miss some time, and I don't have an issue with him, getting right and getting healthy for the playoffs, or at least for the stretch run. You are going to need to either be ready to act it or to have Alec Boehm be ready to play, soon, or
I would think that's possible.
Or one of those two guys has to hit the IL. You can't be two guys short with to keep your bench that thin. So one of those two guys is either going to have to hit the IL by assuming that Harper is going to sit, a missed time. I think the likeliest scenario is Harper doesn't miss any time at all because he says, I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
But if there were to be an instance where Bryce Harper misses time, one of those two guys is going to have to either hit the IL or Bohm's going to have to be back.
I love the chat sharing their dinner plans. We got pork chops, baby back ribs, chicken fajitas, sloppy joes, and chili. Love it, everybody.
Oh, I haven't had sloppy joes in so long. Wait, okay, let me first go on the Bohm note before I go to the food note. That's what I was going to ask. But I think Alec Bohm can at least be available. He might not start, but I think he should at least be available against Miami if needed. And in terms of Kabasa, you guys say Kabasi?
No, I'm not a Kabasi.
Lawrence is saying Kabasi. I don't say Kabasi.
I think you did.
I think it's Kabasa.
I do.
You say Kabasi?
You're Kabasi?
Mm-hmm.
That's up there with Lancaster.
It's Lancaster.
You said something earlier that I say differently too. Was it what was it? I was going to bring it up.
You say things differently.
Did you say delicate? How do you say delicate?
Delicate?
No, it wasn't
delicate is an entirely different word.
Delicate or delegate? Delicate.
Delicate? Did you say delicate earlier?
Oh, I said
what was it?
Because
I say it the opposite way. Both are correct, but I say it opposite.
I said, oh my gosh. Oh my God, I kind of feel like I know what we're talking about. I can't.
I know. Damn.
Oh, it's gonna randomly hit me later. I'm gonna
just text it to the chain. I say it the opposite way that what you say.
A little bit differently. Okay?
Yeah, Chris Miller's got your back. He said we're from
Chris.
South Jersey over here. Yeah. Well, to everybody in the chat, I hope you and Chris Miller is making ribs and chili. Oh, he isn't. Oh no, he said those sound good.
It is chili season, guys. It's time.
It is crockpot season. So to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. A great Phillies win with an easy Marlins series on deck here down in Miami. Good times ahead. Hopefully Bryce Harper can get healthy here quick because they need him. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to run it back tomorrow night with a post-game show. And then Tyler and Renee got you on Friday morning on Eagles Eve on Friday. So it's a good time in the sports calendar right now.
I'm so sorry.
And it's your birthday on Saturday, we know.
That is Renee's birthday on Saturday.
I was going to say that. I was going to say Christopher Sanchez rocking the Allen Iverson shirt in the clubhouse was like a small little thing. I like that. I like seeing that. But no, I was going to bring up my birthday Saturday on September 7th that I was born in 1992 at 8:03 p.m. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. But everybody enjoy your dinner. Seth F. No, there are no easy series, but the Marlins stink and the Phillies have every single pitching advantage this weekend. Have a great night, everyone, and say goodbye to Tyler's kitty. And we will see everybody tomorrow night. She did wave.
She waved.
We will see everybody tomorrow night for post-game show. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.